to Leaves and Lines. Today, let us learn about types of ode. The first one is Pindaric ode. The Pindaric ode is the earliest and most formal type of ode, originating in ancient Greece and is named after the poet Pindar. It was composed to celebrate public achievements such as victories in athletic contests, heroic deeds, or divine favor. Structurally, a true Pindaric ode follows a strict triadic pattern consisting of strophe, antistrophe, and epode. These odes were originally written in choral performances accompanied by music and dance, which explains their intricate and metrical design. The language of Pindaric ode is elevated, dignified, and rich in mythological references, reflecting its ceremonial and public nature. Themes often include human glory, divine power, fate, and moral reflection, and the tone remains grand and celebratory throughout. One of the famous examples of Pindaric ode is Thomas Gray's The Bard. Next is Horatian Ode. The Horatian Ode is named after the Roman poet Horace, is a calmer and more personal form of ode. Unlike the Pindaric ode, it is written in regular uniform stanzas with the same meter and rhyme scheme repeated throughout the poem. Horatian odes focus on private experiences and reflective throughout rather than public celebration. Common themes include friendship, love, and the passage of time, nature, contentment, and the philosophy of moderation, often summed up in the idea of carpe diem. The tone is restrained, thoughtful, and meditative, avoiding emotional excess and rhetorical grandeur. The language is graceful and polished, but simple, making the Horatian ode easier to imitate in English poetry. Because of its structural regularity and philosophical balance, this form became popular among the English poets and is frequently used for moral and reflective lyric poetry. One of the famous English Horatian ode is Andrew Marvell's An Horatian Ode upon Cromwell's Return from Ireland. Next, we have irregular ode. Irregular ode is also known as Collean ode, developed in the 17th century England as a free imitation to Pindaric ode. Unlike both Pindaric and Horatian odes, it follows no fixed stanza pattern, meter, or rhyme scheme, allowing complete formal freedom. Stanzas vary in length and rhythm, and the structure is governed by the movement of thought and emotion rather than formal rules. The irregular ode is particularly suited to expressing intense feeling, imaginative flights, and abstract ideas. Its language is elevated and often rhetorical, making frequent use of apostrophe, metaphor, and personification. This form became specially important during the Romantic period as the poets valued emotional spontaneity and creative freedom. Though inspired by Pindar, the irregular ode is distinctly English in spirit and marks a transition towards modern lyrical expression. One of the example is P.B. Shelley's Ode to the West Wind. Then we come to Romantic odes. Romantic odes emerged during the Romantic Age as a transformation of the classical ode into a deeply personal and philosophical lyrical form. Written by poets such as Wordsworth, Coleridge, Shelley, and Keats, these odes emphasize subjective emotion, imagination, and communion with nature. Structurally, romantic odes are usually irregular or loosely Horatian, for allowing flexibility to follow emotional development. Nature is often treated as living presence or directly addressed through apostrophe, serving as a teacher, healer, or spiritual force. Major themes include the transience of life, the loss of childhood, innocence, the power of imagination, and the desire to escape suffering. The language is rich in imagery and symbolism, and the tone often shifts between joy and melancholy. Romantic odes redefine the odes as a medium for introspection, philosophical inquiry, and emotional depth, having a lasting influence on modern lyric poetry. Some of the examples of romantic ode are Keats's great odes like Ode to Nightingale, To Autumn, etc. Thank you. That's all for today. If you like the video, do like, share, and subscribe to Leaves and Lines.